All right, we're ready to get started. I'm so excited about today's webinar. We are going to dive into some marketing principles. Our goal here at Credit Suite is always to empower businesses to grow. We love small businesses. We love the spirit of entrepreneurship, and it's our goal to do everything we can to support them and support that growth. So today I've invited Alex to join me, and we are going to talk about marketing and why you should not stop marketing during this time. And Alex has a lot of great experience, and I look forward to hearing from him. Alex is in charge of our marketing here at Credit Suite. He's a brilliant mind, and he is the mastermind behind all those wonderful ads, our emails, the content that you see, and we're really grateful for him. So Alex, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Megan.
Yep. Well, Alex, let's dive in to why we're here and why we're having this discussion. Why should business owners not stop marketing at this time?
I think most business owners really probably still have something to offer to their audience. And marketing is the way that they're going to communicate to their existing audience, to their future audience, their prospects, and their existing clients that they have something else to offer. So for us, for example, people are trying to evaluate what they're spending money on in their business. Is, business credit, is that really important during a crisis, which it is, but we have to make that association that business credit and financing can help a business owner through a time like this. And another example would be a martial arts studio, which is one of our clients. They obviously can't operate in person. And so what they've done is they've created a couple new products. And for them to get their existing clients on board and attend these virtual products and virtual practices and things like that, they need to be able to communicate with their existing client base. And they're coming out with new products that they want to market to, people that they haven't interacted with before. So marketing is an important tool, not just to attract new people and make money in your business, but also a really good way to communicate what you're doing and provide actionable insight into what your clients or what your prospects could be doing in a time like this. So it's very important to keep up marketing as much as you can. Mm-hmm. The other thing is it drives business. So, you're probably pretty short on capital, or you've probably seen sales go down as a result of this. Marketing can kind of help keep that up. So as long as you're marketing correctly and you're understanding what your audience needs at a time like this, you can still be successful and sympathetic to their situation.
I love that. And you highlighted something that I just love, which is the entrepreneurial spirit. For instance, like a martial arts studio, they could have just, put on their pajama pants and just given up, or they innovate. And that's what I love about the entrepreneurial spirit is I think business owners take that opportunity to innovate and to grow. And I'm excited to see all the growth that comes from this period of time. I think there's many that are taking this as an opportunity, and I love that you brought that up. I think we hear a lot of negativity right now, but I love thinking about the positive that will come from all of this. So you brought up a lot of great points. So why do you think, we just talked about why it's so important that companies don't stop marketing, and there's some really strong reasons why to not stop. Right? We are all in this environment where we're working from home. You can see our amazing backgrounds right here, but we're still here. We still showed up, and we still want to share our messages. But why do you think some companies right now are tempted to stop marketing?
A lot of people are tempted to stop marketing really because they view marketing as an expense rather than a driver of revenue or a driver of business. And that's a dangerous place to be in, even outside of a pandemic or outside of a recession, because marketing is what brings new blood into the business, whether it's you're going out and running ads or you're creating a system and a process to get more referrals. both of those are different types of marketing, but they're both marketing. And so what you have to do is really identify the marketing that's working best in your business, and then figure out, how do I do more of that to drive more revenue, drive more profit, drive more business. And so it's a lot of business owners view it as an expense, and they say, okay, well, we can't pay our mortgage this month, or we have all of these expenses and our revenue dropped. Marketing oftentimes is lumped into that. And, there's obviously a balance there of a percentage of revenue or percentage of your collected versus what your marketing spend is, to make sure that you're still profitable. But cutting marketing or stopping marketing altogether oftentimes leads to way more serious problems down the line. And in a situation like this, it can happen a lot faster. So if you stop marketing now, month down the road, when you don't have new leads or new referrals coming in, now you don't have new revenue to support the rest of the business. And so you just have to find that balance of cutting expenses and making sure that you're managing your marketing cost to how much revenue do I need to create next month to make sure that I'm profitable, or at least surviving beyond a couple weeks or however long. So don't view marketing as an expense. View it as a driver of business, and everything that is a driver of business has proportions of and ratios of what you should be spending.
Yeah, I think I can definitely speak to this in my position as the COO of the company. That's one of my roles, is to work with you, and we talk about our marketing budget. Mm-hmm. And there are those moments where, especially if sales start to decrease, or as they increase, we want to be aware of that and make sure we've made that a goal for ourselves. We're always aware of that. We know what our target is, and we try and stay within that, but absolutely cutting it is never an option. That's a commitment we've made for the health of the business and the longevity. And you brought up that sales cycle. Cutting it now can starve the business in 30, 60, 90 days and create an even larger problem in the future, which can have a very negative response. So I like that. So what are some predictions? And we kind of talked about this, so you may not have a lot to add here, but what are some predictions for companies that stop marketing now? What are some things you think they will start to see if they were to completely cut it off right now?
I mean, you're going to see a lot of reduction in revenue, a lot of reduction in profit. People are out there searching for what you have to offer, whether you think they are or not. They're looking for a solution. Somebody who practices martial arts and wants to continue to do that they're trying to figure out ways that they can do that from home. And the example that we used earlier, they came up with a new product. They created ways that they can still interact with their existing customers and new customers. And then they created a marketing plan to launch that and push that out there. So they're, might actually come out the other side a lot stronger than they were coming into this crisis, because they were able to innovate. They didn't stop marketing. And in fact, they started marketing a new product, which is that's just an example. That's not the answer for everybody. But companies that don't do that, or don't continue marketing their products, and figure out ways that people are thinking and searching for their products now, they're going to see a reduction in revenue. And, it's sad to see, but they'll, end up failing. And if you realize that you stop marketing too late, then, you might go under.
Definitely. And we don't want any business to experience that. And I think that's why we picked this as one of our first topics, because we do see that as maybe a common mistake that a lot of business owners could be making right now. And so we want to get this message out to help these business owners. So speaking of common mistakes, you and I, we talk about this fairly regularly. As this pandemic has come about and this recession that's coming upon us, marketers had to quickly switch gears and change their content. I know our content department has been working day and night to get helpful information and get it out there in real time. And that's not easy to do, especially on a large scale. So let's talk about what are some of the common mistakes that you're seeing marketers make right now. So let's say they're still spending money, they're still working on marketing, but what are those mistakes that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, I think there's the biggest one I see is not striking the right balance between marketing your products and advertising your products because you know that people still want and need them, and being sensitive to the situation that people are in. So here, let's see if I can share my screen here. I got an email today actually, about a service that, they do kind of like outbound sales automation. And it's great. Most, businesses like ours, probably will see an increase in, leads and demand for business financing. But the way that they phrased it was kind of strange. It was like, you're going to see increase in demand and services will increase. And it just seemed very insensitive to just the situation overall. And it just goes right into a direct sales pitch. I've never heard from these people again. The subject line was just my name with Credit Suite in parentheses. And so it was just a very strange email to receive. So that's the biggest mistake I would say, is really not striking that balance between I should be continuing to market my products and services and sell my products and services because they do help individuals or they help companies, whoever you're selling to, but making sure that you understand the position they're in. You understand that they could be personally affected by it. Their employees could be personally affected by it, and being somewhat sensitive to that. The second biggest mistake I see is just giving a blanket, like, open letter about COVID-19 and like, this is, we're still in business kind of thing. It's so silly.
If I get another one, I don't know, right? I see the heading and I know exactly what it is and I just hit delete.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think we're all getting a lot of those.
In fact, in Infusionsoft, which is the email service that we use to send our marketing emails, sent out a notice saying, don't send these emails because the email service providers like Gmail, Yahoo, Verizon, they're sending them to spam, because the way that they work is if enough people say that they don't want to receive those emails, then Gmail is just going to blanket say, okay, people don't want these emails, we're going to send them to spam. What you can do as a kind of a other side of that is not just tell people that you're in business and you're here to survive the pandemic like everybody else is, but give actionable information with that. So something that we're doing is we've increased the number of live streams that we do on YouTube and Facebook. And we were letting people know through a weekly email what that schedule would be and the topics that we're going to be covering. It's very similar information that these other emails we're sending out, but we're giving them an action to actually take that will help their business in some way. And we're also letting them kind of pick and choose, well, here's this information that we're presenting on this day. Here's this information that we're presenting on this day. Whatever is most helpful to your business, we probably have that for you. So that would be the what you could be doing better. It's not, don't just send a blanket email saying we're here. Send an email that try to limit the amount of spammy keywords like coronavirus or COVID-19, but really just say like, we're here to support you. Here's what we're doing to support you. And that has been very effective for us to get people on those live streams. And then also we're providing value to get people to call us once that live stream is over.
I like that. And you mentioned Infusionsoft. One of the emails that I got, and they were one of the first to send it out, I felt like they sent out a great example of a good email in this scenario, where they're trying to provide value. They're trying to uplift those that are receiving it and just say, let's get to work. We've got this. And they had some sort of a scholarship or some sort of program like that. just an example of one that I think was really well done along those lines. But I think you bring up some really great points there. So what other words of wisdom do you have for business owners that are marketing right now? If you could offer them some tidbits of advice,
Yeah,
what would those be?
I think the biggest thing right now is to be supportive and positive. People are they get enough of the crazy news that's coming out from whatever news source that they choose to follow. So as marketers and as business owners and entrepreneurs, we want to make sure that we're that positive light in people's lives, whether we're serving consumers or we're serving other businesses. You know, we serve other businesses, but at the heart of those businesses are people. And so they're watching the news every day. They're looking at Facebook every day. They're seeing what's going on. They don't need a reminder of that from some business, like their provider of business credit. They want to know, like, we're going to be there for their business and support them throughout this. So I think being really positive and really supportive in our marketing is a good idea. And then keeping it lighthearted. So, you know, I have an example of an ad that I saw on Instagram that it's, you know, taking advantage of some would argue that it's taking advantage of a situation, but they crafted the ad in such a way that it was lighthearted, and it was making kind of brevity of the situation that we're all in. I'm not a hat guy. I look really strange in hats. So, but
I wouldn't know because you never wear them, but
I think Instagram thought I needed a haircut. So
okay.
I saw this ad, which was no haircut, no problem, the must-have for video calls. Everybody is working from home that works in a business. Everybody is doing video calls, whether it's through Google or Zoom or whatever. And they're just kind of like making fun of that situation. And so the copy, I think, is good. It's lighthearted. It's solving a problem that people are having right now. And it's just all around a pretty well-crafted ad to kind of not viciously take advantage of the situation, but it's a good way to market, and they know clearly know who their audience is, and are kind of speaking to the problems that they know that they're having right now. So it's somewhat sensitive, but it's, you know, making light of a serious situation.
Definitely. And I think another, you know, it's unfortunate. There are some ads, as marketers, we can plan out our ads and our content and things like that. And it's a great tool, you know, it allows us to scale businesses. But one of the hard things at this time, I definitely see, and I'll run across a business that clearly planned out an ad 2 months ago, because that ad is not speaking to the mindset of business owners at this time. And I understand we're all really busy. And so I wanted to talk to you about, because you're seeing this in real time, we don't have a ton of data, right? Because we're only weeks into this, but are you seeing a change and a shift in how messaging and the impact on number of leads, the cost per leads, things like that? Do you want to talk about some of those trends that you're seeing right now?
Yeah, we definitely are seeing a change on organic, and that happened really, really, really fast. And we made that mistake, which, like, we had a post for Instagram that was set to go out about Equifax and why it's important to know what's reporting on your business credit report for Equifax. But do business owners in today's situation really care about, like, what specifically is reporting on Equifax, even though it could affect their ability to get financing and that kind of stuff? So the way that post was messaged was just a little, it was tone deaf to what was going on. So there's definitely a shift there where we've had to address, we can post something similar to that, but we have to address it in a different way, because what we have to do is, our avatar is essentially the same, or the person that we want to attract into Credit Suite is essentially the same, but the psychographic information that we would create that avatar with has changed. So what are they thinking, feeling, and hearing is so much different from what it was 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. And so that's something that we've had to adjust. On the paid side, that's taken a little bit longer, I think, to evolve as far as how it's affecting the performance of the ads. I think your performance could go way, way, way up if you're advertising like this hat company, advertising in a way that takes light of the situation and relates to it somehow in a positive way. Something I will say is ad costs on Facebook and on Google and other digital platforms are at an all-time low. They're, Facebook and Google want their ad revenue. They don't want businesses to stop marketing. And so it was kind of there I don't know if it was done because they knew businesses weren't going to be able to afford the ad costs or continue to afford the ad costs that had been going up, or if it was just a result of they saw a big drop in demand, so they started lowering their cost. Either way, they're at an all-time low, and it's a good time to kind of take advantage and see what works for you in today's situation. So I would say, yes, you're going to have to change your paid ads. You're definitely going to have to change your organic social media, whatever platform works for you. And make sure that you're really taking a look at, if you haven't, I think we did a client coaching webinar on Avatar a while ago. If you don't know what that is, Digital Marketer has a really good breakdown of it. I think just go to their blog, digitalmarketer.com, and look for like customer avatar, and it will come up with multiple blog posts that explain what that is. But add into that what they explain. What is my person thinking? And what are they hearing from other people, from their spouses, from their business partners, and what are they feeling? And when you take into consideration all of their demographic stuff, all of their pain points that have shifted from 4 weeks ago, you also take into consideration what we call psychographic info. So thinking, feeling, and hearing. And now you can start crafting messaging that is going to resonate with them, that also doesn't seem insensitive and tone deaf. And you're going to see hopefully an increase in performance on both your paid and your organic.
You just hit on a point which reminds me why I'm not envious of your position, right? So as marketers, you need to understand not just who you're talking to, but what they're thinking about, what their fears are, and then not even beyond them, what are those around them saying? What are spouses saying? What are parents saying? And you're right. I think each of us that are listening to this today have all deleted an email because it just didn't speak to them. It was completely different than your frame of mind. I know we talked a little bit about this, just receiving emails or seeing ads that are so far away from where our mindset is right now. It's like they're oblivious to it. And I just delete it because I'm like, they put no thought into that. And I think that's what you're referring to, but in even more detail. And that can be a little scarier if you're starting as a marketer. Any wisdom that you can share there to help maybe a business that's starting in marketing to get in that mindset? You had brought up Digital Marketer as a reference, and I think that's somebody that has provided a lot of good detail, but any wisdom you have as far as getting in the mind of the avatar that you're trying to speak to?
Yeah, just try to think about a company that you are a customer of, and why did you become a customer of that business? Having a fantastic product should always win out, or better product should always win out in the end, but oftentimes better marketing wins out. And we kind of, as we become more sophisticated in a certain area of consumerism, we may say, okay, well, this product is way better, and why am I connected to this product? And really think down emotionally. And just also take it one step at a time. So when we go in, we are listening to phone calls and that kind of stuff, but you don't even have to go that deep. You could just sort of simply think about it, and then think about a product that you are a consumer of, and then say, well, why am I a consumer of this product? And then you kind of have this answer, or have somebody else, like a business partner or a friend, ask you these questions of like, why? You get another level deeper, and then you kind of ask the same question again. Well, why is that? Or so what? And then you get another level deeper. And, you know, getting 3 to 5 levels deep is where you're going to really start understanding, why was I attracted to this product in the first place? Why did I buy this product? And chances are you're a repeat customer of whatever that business is that sold you that product. And that gives you an idea of how to get into the shoes of, well, why is somebody going to buy my product? Think about it and take it another step further. If you've purchased something recently in our current climate, in the current situation, why did you purchase that? And ask those same questions and get a couple levels deep. Why did I purchase this product in the middle of a pandemic? And so what? And so what? And so what? And that will help you understand, well, I was in this mindset during this pandemic. I was affected this way. And yet I still purchased this product, or I still am paying for this product because it does this, and it affects me on a personal level this way, even though it's for my business. And so if you help businesses, if you help consumers, it's the same thing. People are people. They're going to behave emotionally, and understanding that is going to be very helpful. But I would say take it one step at a time. Really identify who you're supposed to be marketing to. Then once you kind of have that down and you really feel comfortable there, then get into the emotional and psychographic side of things, because that's what's going to drive people to respond to your organic social media, people to respond to your paid ads, people to respond to your emails.
I like it. And I wish we had all day, right, with Alex, because we could get so much knowledge. But I think that's a great tidbit. And as you were talking about that, I was thinking about why I bought ski boots during a pandemic, you know, and so I kind of went through the exercise with you. Well, I bought them because I know I'm going to need them next year. But why did I buy them right now? Well, in reality, because I really miss it. You know, that's something I enjoy doing, and I do it a lot. Well, why? Because I need to get my energy out. I spend a lot of time in the office, and I have a lot to think about. Why? Because I run a business, and I love running a business. And as I keep answering that why, then it starts to get pretty deep, and pretty soon we'll have to bring out the tissue box. But it's so funny as you go through that path, something as funny as buying ski boots during a pandemic, you know, I think it's just a great practice. So I love that you brought that up. Well, let's see. I didn't have any other great probing questions, but a thought that did come to mind is, Alex, as marketers, we always have choices to make. And you've talked about this a little bit, but I thought maybe you could expand on this. We have the choice of this message that we put out, and we have the choice to really tap into that fear and spread it and smudge it all around, or we can take a more positive approach. What is your thought there? Because there is some, I feel like there is some possibly social responsibility, and this is probably now getting political in some ways, and I don't mean it that way. And this is really your point of view, you know, and so others may have different point of views, but I wondered your point of view. What is your thought on that? What is your approach as you are doing marketing? What kind of tone are you trying to uphold?
I mean, we're trying to, at Credit Suite, we're trying to use the most positive tone that we can. And so we understand, you know, especially for who we serve, which are businesses who are generally we're growing, but they need business credit, they need financing to do something within their business. So whether that was before, you know, the pandemic, they were looking to expand, they were looking to expand their marketing budget, or get a marketing budget, they were looking to grow physically or buy a piece of equipment, whatever it was. We always address that in a positive way. And it was pretty easy to address that in a positive way. It's like, right, you're looking to grow, here's this thing that's going to help you grow. It's very simplified. That was not any copy that we ran, just to make you feel better, Megan.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Now it's like, well, these business owners are trying to survive, and they're not thinking about like, how am I going to grow this business during a pandemic? They're thinking about, how do I make payroll and keep my employees who have families who are also affected by this? How do I keep paying expenses? How do I pay the rent or the mortgage on my office? And so now we're trying to be as sensitive as we can to that, and also as positive as we can, to show them that there are solutions that are available to them, and that we're actually we're there to provide that support. And so that's why we've increased the number of live streams that we're doing, to provide more information that's more free will or goodwill driven. Like we're not charging for these live streams. We're not charging when somebody calls us in to have a consultation about their business. There are still ways that we make money during this, but it's really to help and be as much of a support network as we possibly can. Not all businesses are in that same position. Some of them are providing different products and different services that are still useful. And so being open and giving information and providing support and being positive is going to go a long way with business owners and consumers, because they're looking for the people who understand where they are and understand the problems that they're dealing with, but then also provide support and solutions that they want to use. So we talked about Infusionsoft, or Keep as the new company is called. They've been doing something very similar, where they have a daily webinar to their users, or multiple daily webinars to their users, to talk about lifecycle marketing. Or they have one of their certified partners on to talk about something more specific within the software, or more specific within their area of expertise. And it's not about selling their software. It's about providing information and help in marketing to get these businesses, through what they're dealing with. Digital Marketer did something that I thought was pretty interesting, where they did, I think they called it Silver Linings live streams or something. I can't remember what it was called. They had experts on in certain areas that talked about, things that businesses can do to get through this. They weren't advertising their products or their services. So for businesses, the more you can do for other businesses, if you're B2B, or consumers, if you're selling to consumers, be that support network and be positive throughout the whole thing. You can fearmonger and take advantage of a bad situation, but people are going to see right through that. They're going to see through your email that seems like it's that email that we showed earlier was probably sent in the best intent, but it was not thought through the way that we discussed earlier. Like, well, what is this business going through, and what are they feeling, and how would they be personally affected by this language? And so it came off as very tone deaf. And so that's where you have to be careful of fear mongering and trying to capitalize and make as much money as you can, like a money grab type situation, or being tone deaf, which, best intentions, but bad planning. And then also just the other side of that is being totally supportive, being very positive throughout the whole situation, even though that's going to be difficult. I mean, for us, we're a business too. We're going through the same situation that all of the viewers are going through. And so sometimes it's hard with personal things that are going on, with things that are going on in the business, to say, well, how do I be a positive support network for my clients or my customers? And that's something that you just kind of have to think through, like, what would I want another business to provide to me in this situation? And that's kind of a way to get over it. But yeah, I think the best course of action is really just be as supportive and as positive as you can within the bounds of your business. So if you can't afford to give tons and tons and tons of things away for free, just make sure that what you're providing is supportive in some way, and people will respect that, and also be more receptive to then your marketing and advertising when you try to get them to buy your products and services then.
I like that. your last statement reminded me of the books by Jim Collins, you know, where he talks about, you know, bullets versus cannonballs. And I highly always recommend reading his books, but it's not taking these massive leaps of high risk, right? Though there are times we do that as business owners, but those don't always pan out. But it's, hey, what can I do within the bounds of my resources, within my abilities, within what we can do now, and being very innovative in that space. And that's the part that's super exciting to me, you know, to see what business owners will come up with. So I really like that thought and that comment. Along with that, you know, I think you're spot on that there's only so much we can control right now. And so I think I feel like a positive approach to that, and taking control over what I can control and looking at it in a bright way that leads to innovation is really exciting to me. So like I said, I'm excited to see how businesses approach this, and all the great new products and features, and the way we're all stretching and becoming even better business owners, better individuals. I'm excited to see what the product is of that. Any other wisdom that you want to share on marketing, Alex, before we wrap this up today?
A big part of marketing, and I think why we were able to shift so quickly, is being prepared. So about a year and a half ago, we decided that for every blog post that we wrote, we were going to, or every webinar that we created, we were going to create a recession version of that, if it made sense to. Not because we were like pessimistic and we thought that a recession was coming soon. It's because we wanted to be prepared and understand that when something happens, or if something were to happen, we would have resources that we could pull out when it was necessary. And so there were things that obviously didn't go as planned with that, or we definitely did not see a coronavirus type pandemic occurring. And so
Your crystal ball broke? Is that what happened?
So yeah, I mean, the system, you know, is like throwing a car in reverse going 100 miles an hour down the highway,
right.
Which sounds real scary, but the effect of that was felt a little bit less because we prepared. And that was one of the ways that the marketing department prepared. There were other ways that you and Ty prepared the business for something like this. And so that's what I would say is, it doesn't matter if it's marketing, although one of the biggest areas, because that's a big drive, one of the initial drivers of revenue to sales, which drives more revenue. And so definitely be prepared in every area of your business for something to happen. And so if a recession hit tomorrow, would you be prepared from a marketing perspective? Because you also can't stop marketing in a recession. Would you be prepared from an operations perspective? In a mastermind I'm a member of, that's one of the biggest things that we talk about, which is how do we prepare our businesses for something to happen? And if we see trends occurring, do we ignore those trends and just keep on going the way we're going? Or do we keep doing what we're doing, but pay attention to the trends and figure out, well, I see something happening here. How can I institute something that will make the business more sustainable in the future if this were to occur? And of course, like everything, you got to do that within reason. We can't devote too many resources and spend and payroll expenses to creating recession content. But it was a big enough thing that we identified, and we said, okay, we want to be prepared for it. And so it doesn't necessarily need to be that specific thing, but I use that as an example just to kind of help our watchers think through, what should I be doing in marketing to prepare myself for something like this in the future? What should I be doing in the sales team, or my salesperson, or if it's me, like, is there a process I could follow in the future? And then also pay attention to trends. Marketing and sales and pretty much everything in business is based off of like what's happening and what's going to happen, and then what happened. And really, if you have data in some of those areas, really pay attention to that, and really pay attention to what competitors are doing, what non-competitors are doing, even what other industries are doing. And you'll start seeing what certain companies are doing as far as preparing for this kind of stuff.
I think, yeah, you hit the nail on the head, and you're right. There were some things I'm proud that we did do to prepare. That's always really nice when you took action and you came in somewhat prepared. But then there's always things we could have done better. And I think many of us listening, that portion, we may be a little bit hard on ourselves. But I think where we're at right now, there's still things we can do right now to be prepared for tomorrow and to be prepared for next week. I know, like, for instance, just for example, and we're sick of hearing about it, right? The PPP, the payroll protection, that'll be rolling out soon. Businesses can prepare their business entity so that they're ready to go through that really smoothly. So same thing with marketing. There's things they can do right now to be prepared for next week, for next month. I think that this will continue. I project that it'll continue to have an impact on the messaging that users want to hear, and that'll be ongoing for some time. I also think it'll change throughout these cycles, and so I think it's wise to be prepared on that. So it's a great opportunity for entrepreneurs to just have that solid thinking time and that creative period where they can envision where users are going to be in a year or in a month or a week from now. So yeah, I like that thought. Well, Alex, I am so glad you carved out some time to talk with me today. I know we're all in this really fun environment where we're working from home and we're all really busy, but I just appreciate your time and everything you do for our company. I appreciate you sharing some of your knowledge with the listeners today and look forward to getting this out to everybody. Thank you so much for your time, Alex.
Thanks, Megan.